This is the show where furry becomes history and past becomes present. I'm your host, Arrkay, and we are culturally effed. What is culturally effed? Who is culturally effed? Why is culturally effed? Culturally effed is an entertainment, information, education station that's going to feature brief tidbits and facts centering around the phenomenon of anthropomorphism in art, culture, history, and mass media. In this series, we will be looking at anthro characters in our world, found everywhere from Roman mythology to Saturday morning cartoons. Great icons like Walt Disney or Amun-Ra. We'll be going everywhere, from Anthrocon to The Legend of Zelda. We're diving head first into history, archaeology, religion, anthropology, literature, art, and digital media to learn more about humanity's fascination with animals, but specifically how we project our own image onto them. We hope to answer some of the questions that no one has ever bothered to ask. So check this, there's actually a whole community based around this concept. Known across the internet as furry, these people are the modern rendition of a culture based around anthropomorphism. Furries as we know them today are misunderstood as the general weirdos of the internet. A schema that actually dates back to the start of the internet itself. The fandom is just a collection of nerds, much like anime or science fiction. And it actually evolved out of those two subcultures and into its own being. One of the key differences is that furries largely make content for themselves, and they don't rely on large corporations or big-name creators to provide the material to geek out about. One of my goals is to show that an appreciation for anthro characters is not limited to the here and now. It's been embedded in almost all human cultures across time. It's really old. My conclusion at the end of this series is to show that furries are a natural byproduct of the media around us, and in some ways, the result of a common cultural history that all humans share. This show is not to show that furries have been around for centuries. Spoiler, they haven't. Now, before we get into things, we should talk about some terminology I'm going to use. Exciting, right? Anthropomorphism. Having human characteristics, described or thought of as being like humans in appearance or behavior, considering non-human things as having human qualities. Anthropomorphic is the word that most people would use to describe the talking animal characters that we'll be exploring. But one can anthropomorphize anything, including, but certainly not limited to, furniture, toys, vehicles, socks, the moon, feelings, the weather, even the universe itself. However, a lot of what we're going to be dealing with may be considered closer to zoomorphism, having the form of an animal, of relating to or being a deity conceived of in an animal form or with animal attributes. Zoomorphism is the other side of the same coin of blending the properties of people and animals. A lot of what we're going to talk about will be both zoomorphic and anthropomorphic. The differences are in the details of the two. In the broadest sense, I will be using these terms more or less interchangeably, and summarized by saying anthro, or anthro character, anthro animal, or even just furry. So please, don't get all tussled up if I'm describing a zoomorphic being as being anthro. I know what it means, it's just easier this way. Culturally effed is the result of an extreme confirmation bias. It's the act of willfully Googling and searching for things that confirm what I think that I already know. This is just sort of an experiment to see what happens when confirmation bias is turned way up. You know, like those anti-vaxxers. It's more of a fun learning experience. Why is it that in some religions, even today, we celebrate and revere animals? Why do people like to dress up as animals or invent virtual or fantastical animal worlds that run parallel to our own? Why do we enjoy having on-screen animals walk and talk, or fight crime in our comic books? These are the questions Culturally Effed will look into in the coming weeks. Subscribe! We also have a Facebook, Twitter, Weasel, Fur Affinity, so you can follow us for updates, talk about the show, their current episodes, or even suggest future topics. I don't have a catchphrase to close the show right now, but if you can think of a great closer for the show, leave a note in the comments. Thanks for watching. Culturally Eft is brought to you with the help of these fluffy people. Special thanks to Hyena and D Major, aka Mike, for helping me draft this first episode. Music for the series is generously provided by Chord Kitty. You can find his Furfinity page in the description. Culturally Eft is produced and edited by myself, Arrkay, but some people also call me Mark. Culturally Eft is co-produced and edited by Underbite Dragon, who also did the artwork, and some people also call him Mark.